Okay, teachers, here we go with the reeds and some of the basics. You've seen how to put the reed on to the mouthpiece, and that part really is critical. You've got to get that across to the kids. I've got a clarinet mouthpiece. Mouthpiece and barrel is where we're going to start them. And I've chosen this specifically. It tends to be the most grouchy or the most demanding as far as the exact positioning. And we're going to do this from different camera angles so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. What I'm going to do here is I've got that much of the instrument. I've got the ligature on, the reeds on. I'm going to put my finger about halfway up the slope, okay, my fingernail, so that when I turn the mouthpiece to me, my top teeth are going to touch up to my fingernail. The kids need to feel that because they really don't know how much to put in, okay? Once they've got that and their mouth starts to feel it, but for the first little bit, have them do that in turn like that, and that'll help them with the positioning. The other thing here, and we'll get this on the side shot, is the tip this way. Clarinets have so many different points of axis that they have to get right to get that sound, okay? The reed's moist. Now the tip, here it is, where they're about 45 degrees off of the floor. Tell them it actually has a little bit of pry on the back of their teeth. You're going to have some kids who try and gum the mouthpiece. Their top teeth aren't touching the black plastic here. Their mouth is, okay, just their lip. They try and round face the whole thing. That basic TIU face has to still be there. Two. You'll get clarinet players who try and go totally round. They can't get the bite on the instrument. What happens is they're going to play out of tune. It's going to be a mess in your clarinet section. In the worst case, you're going to be detuning your whole band, or in some cases, some of them are so far out of tune, it sounds like they're playing a semitone out, or just playing the wrong notes. I've heard that before. You don't want that, and it is totally avoidable. Okay, so you're about 45 degrees, a little bit of pry on the back of the teeth, and then it's the bite. Because a clarinet, you have to have a certain bite on the reed. So what you can do, tell them to take their finger and bite the first knuckle. That's about how much they're going to have in their mouth as well. That's another way for them to find it. Have them curl their bottom lip under. Don't let them play pouty-lipped. Okay? Bottom lip curled. Tell them it's like some old geezer, like, hey, sonny, you've got that bottom lip curled out. And bite hard enough that they can feel their bottom teeth pushing on their lip. Like, they don't want to hurt themselves, but it's got a little bit of a bite to it, and that's what they want as well. So we've got different things. We've got bite, we've got how much of the reed to take, we've got tip angle here, and the last thing is their head. And again, this is going to be all eyes driven because they're going to want to do this. They're going to want to put it in their mouth, and they want to look. So they're going to do this, so they can see the mouthpiece, and they can't do that because it's going to mess their head up. So we're going to pick our spot on the wall with our eyes. Put the right amount in, right angle, right bite, okay, and right air push. I tell them clarinets are like a grouchy horse. Okay, if it's a horse that it knows whether you know how to ride or not. And if you've ever ridden a horse, I'm not talking the nice little carnival ponies that'll just take you for a walk. A real horse knows whether you can ride. And a clarinet will mess kids up something fierce if you let them have bad habits at the beginning. The trouble is the clarinet will play. It'll play for a while. And then the clarinet starts to fight them because they're doing some different things wrong. Probably more than any other instrument, it demands good things happen. But you can play the clarinet wrong and you might get trapped into thinking, oh, they're playing okay. No, they're not. The final component that they need is the air push. And there's more back pressure in the clarinet mouthpiece and the clarinet than any of the other instruments save for an oboe. This one has the most back pressure. Now I can get a sound that's loud. It's like Happy New Year's loud. Okay, and they have to have that push and keep that push on because they're going to need that in the clarinet to make the clarinet ring a little bit. Otherwise, it gets a very stuffy sound and most likely plays out of tune. Now, I'm going to have you do something here, and I'm going to demonstrate this as well. If they have everything right, then the reed will speak properly. Okay? I'm going to play right. Listen to the sound again. Now, if they don't have the tip right, and you can go up and you can move that so they can feel it in their teeth and in their mouth. Have the tip right. I'm going to start changing the tip angle, and you'll hear what happens to the sound. If they have it too much, they actually start clamping the reed with their chin. And they can't get the sound at all. So they have to have that tip angle right. I'm going to do the wrong bite. It starts going out of tune. There's the chipmunk face people. They'll do this. Okay, they have no bite at all. It's just going to be a bad sound or go into a squeak or be out of tune, all kinds of things. T-I-U face, tew. You cannot say the word tew with a chipmunk face. Tew. You can't do it. Have them try that. It'll mess them up. I have them go over to a mirror. Any of my chipmunk face people, have them go over to a mirror, see their face when they say tew. And when they put the mouthpiece in, when they see the chipmunk face, they can usually correct that themselves. Just have them go over to a mirror and do that. Okay, but it has to be that big, loud, obnoxious Happy New Year's sound. Matter of fact, I tell them if there isn't somebody at home who tells them to go down to the basement or out to the garage or somewhere, anywhere else, then there's a problem. Now, that final thing I was telling you about that I want you to do, Google a chromatic tuner. There's a million of them online. Find one. Tell the kids they need to do the same thing because they have to have the right bite and the right positioning that when they have this much instrument in their hands, it plays an F sharp. And we're going to pull up a tuner here and I'm going to play and show you what I mean. And if they do that and they find the right bite and they start to cement in that right bite, you're going to have clarinet players that can play. It's going to be a gorgeous sound, and more than anything else, it's going to be in tune. You want that. You have to have the right bite that you're getting an F sharp, and here it is. Now, most of the time, the kids are going to be underneath the note. And if they have that bite, you saw I was getting an F instead of an F sharp. If they cement in that bite, they're going to be playing out a semitone with the whole band. It is not going to be a good story for the overall sound of your band. It's a very typical problem. So to feel that bite that they have to feel, have them play into a tuner. They'll self-adjust the bite. As long as they've got the right angles and they've got their bottom lip curled under, they've got the bite on the top of the reed and pushing enough air, and they'll self-adjust. You don't need to worry, but this tuner is absolutely critical for the first few days. They need to play into it. Now, I haven't pulled out a sax mouthpiece. Basically, you're going to have them do the same thing. It's going to be the mouthpiece, the ligature, the reeds on, and the neck piece, and that's all they need. They can just hold the whole thing. They don't have the issues that the clarinet player does, so I'm not going to do that specifically in the video. The mechanics are the same. Bottom lip curled, fingertip halfway up the mouthpiece, and then they'll be able to find that sweet spot sound. It's just easier on the saxophone. Clarinets, all kinds of angles they've got to deal with, so that's why I'm focused more here. But the mechanics are the same.